what do we need before we focus on webinars, on launches, on this? Something that was here. We need what? Okay, we need an extraordinary. I will repeat it again and again because it's key. If you launch, I'm gonna be clear, shit, crap, a poop, people will be like pissed off and your reputation online will go bust. So if you try to implement any of these for some fake thing, or again, it's not gonna work and you are gonna be the one more in problems for that. So that's why make sure you have something really valuable, that you promise something that you can actually deliver, and when you have that, let's move to the launch. The launch, or in English, you might find it by product launch formula. Okay, the creator was Jeff Walker of these systems of 4 videos. Okay, in each video, I will explain now. We press some mental triggers. So mental triggers, like for example, authority. Okay, when we go to a doctor that we don't know, but we see the doctor with all the machines and all the equipment and in a white jacket, we trust immediately the doctor. Even if we don't know the certificates, we don't know everything about his story. It's like, okay, if you have a white jacket and your name and you have a clinic, it's because you might know something about surgery, and okay, here's my knee, take it, and I trust you, right? So we trust doctors, we trust police, right? We see the uniforms and we immediately trust police. If a police officer comes dressed with police uniform, okay, I mean, you might think what you want, right? But you are like, okay, or you see somebody with a safety vest, you know, with the lights doing like this in the highway, you might be like, okay, I'm gonna slow down the car because something's happening. But you don't know that person. It might be a random person with a safety vest, but we understand that, so that's authority. We have social proof, for example, a restaurant. If you go to a restaurant and we see that it's full, we say, okay, a full restaurant and an empty restaurant. Which one do we choose? If I'm in a new city, to the full one, right? That's why reviews on Amazon work, and that's why we trust other people doing other stuff. So there are different mental triggers. For example, a scarcity. If there are like 5 spots left, and you want that spot, and you know that there are 100 people in a webinar, and you say, okay, I'm just gonna take 5 spots. I just wanna work with, let's say, 5 people. It's gonna be, wow, I gotta rush. So it helps you take action, it helps you shortcut from, okay, I want this, to actually buying or taking the decisions you want to take. So these are mental triggers. Mental triggers. And mental triggers, it's the core of the product launch formula, okay? So each one of these videos, this one is new opportunity, this one is E, this one is T, and this one is S. Now I explain these parts. So before going into the strategy of the product launch formula in itself, and this is a type of marketing, a vehicle that I really like because the one that I used, it worked really well for me. The first time I hit, we call it, in Spanish, we call it uno en siete. Uno en siete means the salary of a year in 7 days. Okay, so it's approximately 25K. Okay, so it's like 2,000 a month, more or less. The salary of a year in 7 days. First time I got to this, before I was telling you I started with webinars, so I did my first webinars, I tested my offer, I tested my skills, I grew an audience. I had an audience of 20,000 people in my email to be able to launch. Then I was inviting these people to a launch list. So in that launch list, I had 7,000 people, 7,000 leads. Okay, and with the power of a launch, I could transform the 7,000 leads in 25K. This was first accomplished by me in the launch of January 2019. And the cool thing about this is not the $25,000 you make, is that you have a system that you can replicate. So after this first time that I did it took me a year, 12 months, because I started in January 2018, a year to get to this point with launches. It was my first launch, actually, so it went really well because I had a big audience, not because conversion was great, but because I had a big audience. So even though conversion was less than 1%, I got to 25,000. After this, I replicated it and I had 3 more. So I had 4 in total. So if you replicate these launches 4 times, in that case, it was 100K just in launches, okay, that year. So it's a good way to complement, like add on with the webinar structure and the launch structure. But this is not as all the power that the launch has. Actually, the launch, to give an idea of a launch, it's like Apple when it releases the new iPhone. What does Apple? What Apple does? It creates anticipation, right? It creates anticipation for months, then the rumors, then all the press and all the blogs and all the media and all these leaks of information. I think the design is gonna be with 3 cameras. And everybody's like, oh, 3 cameras, really? And it's like, it's gonna have this this waterproof thing. And everybody's talking about that, right? And then when it comes to the release, it's gonna be in that date. So 14 days before, they release the date in which the iPhone is gonna be presented, and then the day that people can go to the shops. And what happens? That people plant tents in front of the shops just to be the first ones to buy the iPhone. It's crazy, right? So how iPhone, this is what Jeff Walker thought. How does Apple market the iPhones and these products, and how can I replicate this for small businesses? So I don't need to invest 10 millions in an ad campaign because I don't have 10 millions, I'm in a small business. Jeff Walker said, okay, how can I do that in a smaller scale so I can put 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 in ads and generate the same anticipation and desire for a product that's gonna be released soon, okay? So he created different formulas, he tested out, he was starting with an investment product, and then eventually he started trying the webinars. This was in the 2005. So it was like 15, 16 years ago when he started developing this, reading about psychologists, reading about mental triggers and how he could press all these mental triggers. At first it was a mess because all these mental triggers were like mixed. And then he realized that, when I'm putting all these mental triggers in a sequence, and I'm pressing first authority, then I'm pressing this, and each one of these videos you press the right mental triggers, people go from the new opportunity, okay, you can write this down, these are the key parts of all the videos, the new opportunity, to the experience, to the transformation, to the experience, okay, like ownership. How does it feel for somebody to own your product or service, or to experience your product or service? And eventually, video 4 is the sales video, okay? So you talk about the new opportunity you have in front of you, whether it's releasing trauma, whether it's freedom. You talk about the new opportunity of, wow, you can be free. You can leave your country. You don't have to stay in your country. You can buy a house in another country. That's a huge opportunity. Okay, that's video 1. When you talk about IG growth, you can grow your IG to this point. Imagine what you can do with your IG, with all these followers. You plant this seed here, the new opportunity. Okay? When you want to do the same with the courses for the nonprofit, when you want to do the same for the team building for CEOs, you offer, imagine what it would be to be an effective leader, an effective CEO, and to build a team around you, around your vision. How much more you can accomplish. You plant this seed. Okay? Yes? Make sense? Good. Next one is the transformation. Okay? The transformation. You want to prove that this works. So, for example, when I'm explaining before, Erico Rocha did the launch using this formula in a 3-day event. So again, it doesn't have to be the 4 videos. You just need to mix it in this way, in this sequence, but then you can put it in different formats. You can put it in a 7-day challenge, in a 5-day challenge, you can put it in an event, 3-day event, whatever it is. You follow this sequence. He made 36 million in 3 days. That's Erico Rocha, like big one, the leader of Brazil. But this can be applied in other companies, for example. As I told you before, I'm in the Spanish franchise, the seed team of the Spanish franchise of PLF. So the company is based in Mexico, and it started, and the first launch that we made, first ever, when the Spanish franchise arrived to the Spanish market and all that stuff, we had 1,259 students at a ticket of $2,000. Okay? If you make the math, it's 2 million. And then we had an upsell. We'll talk about that later. how to have upsells and downsells, products that are an add-on, that people want to pay a bit more to have more exclusive approach or contact with you or whatever, or a downsell, that it's a product that it's cheaper because it offers less characteristics, less things inside the program, so they pay less and they get less. So in total, with the upsell, we didn't do a downsell in this one. The company generated 2.9 millions in 5 days. So this is the power of a launch. Okay, and for this team, it was the leaders of Product Launch Formula Spain. I was here, but I was as well, all the team, it was 19 people. Okay, so again, the power of a team. This cannot be achieved by 2 leaders. It cannot be achieved by a funneler or an ads manager, or with me that I was with social media strategy behind and the communication. It's impossible. 19 people, okay? But when you have this in place and you put a team around you and you make it really big, this cannot be achieved in a webinar. I've never, ever, ever, ever seen a webinar that generates 2.9 million in 5 days. Webinars are more like passive, constant, evergreen, long-term, but the spikes of sales that a launch generates, any other vehicle in the marketing, in the online marketing can generate it, okay? So this is a vehicle to create spikes in sales, okay? When you need a cash flow boost in your business and you know how to launch, this saves your company or gives the next level growth that you need in order to hire more team, in order to spend more in ads on your webinar and to support other areas that you might want, okay? So to save money in case you want to, I don't know, be 6 months without working, because again, we are not talking about being self-employed, we are talking about being business owners. As a business owner, maybe you want to have 6 months of vacations. It's like, okay, I just want to have 6 months of money saved so I can go on vacations, I can travel the world, I can stop my business and have it in minimum generation that covers costs with my team, but I can leave. And in 6 months, I'm coming back recharged with energy and back again. So a launch generates this spike in sales to give you the freedom that you can do whatever you want in your life, okay? This was for a traditional product launch formula like this, but also when you know how to launch, you can use it in an event. And in November, this November 2020, okay, we had an event just so you see how you can use this in your business, okay? You already have clients of this basic product. This product is the basic product, is okay, to separate it from the event. This one is pre-recorded, everything pre-recorded. It's like, I don't know how many hours of content, like maybe 50 hours of content. We have different 8 modules that explains you how to launch, how to create a seed launch, how to create this launch, and then how to create an external launch that is with affiliates, so you even make everything bigger. So in this product, it's explained all the theory, all the knowledge, all the strategy behind the product launch formula and the tactics, how to implement it, like email per email, word per word, almost, you know, like every video, everything inside each video, what do you need to do? So this is what I also teach in these students, because I'm part of this this program, this event. I am also on the team. I was in this November. We were doing this and we had students. We had 350 students. So see the power of this, because sometimes we are focusing on putting ads to generate sales, but we forget that we already have clients, right? And how much easier is to get a client, an already client, to another product of yours if they are already happy and you have an extraordinary product that they loved. How much easier it is to say, hey, you might now want to jump on this, and I have this for you. You already love this. I have another extraordinary product. Do you want to buy from me? That conversion is higher, much higher. Usually it's 10x. I mean, it's 10 times easier to get a client to buy another product from you than to get a new client to buy the first one, okay? So that's why a lot of people forget about this, but it's super important. That's why we have this upsell that we offered here, but then on November, this was in July, in November, we offered the same upsell to the students that didn't buy the upsell here. So we invited all these students, all this, we said, hey, wanna buy a ticket for a virtual event of 2 days? And 350 people bought. So see, a 25% conversion rate for an event. And in this 2-day event, we had 51 upsells. And each one of these upsells, it's $10,000. More than half a million in 2 days. What did we use? This, but instead of pre-recorded videos, we used it in 2 days. So first part of day 1 was this, second part of day 1 was this, third part of day 2, first part of day 2 was this, and then the offer. We mixed a bit of the offer here as well. There are some advanced strategies that you can tweak, so you adjust it, but it's the same strategy. And again, another spike on sales, okay? So I'm phrasing this, I'm putting this in a context so you can see that launches, when you understand the launch, it's really complementary to the webinar. So for example, if we come here and we say, okay, I have a webinar in, let's say, February, okay? I have a webinar in February. I can launch in January, okay? Then we will do the map. But this, if you are doing this every 3 months, you will see that these 3 months are not overlapping. So you can do webinar, launch, and then we will add this, and it's power. Okay, but you can be doing all this stuff and have something that is consistent, and then have a launch. Okay, and to give some example of students or what people that start, because it's like, man, but these are advanced. I mean, it's not his first launch. If he's doing 36 million, Erico Rocha or somebody's doing 2.9 million in 5 days. How come? It's true. But some of the students of Product Launch Formula invested 3K in ads and got 108. This is a podcast that was recorded, Lyudmila, so you can find Lyudmila on YouTube on Product Launch Formula in Spanish, and she explains this. Another the other day that it was $700 US, and he got 32K. Actually, Aldo, he was not the owner of the product, he was launching somebody else. So when you know how to launch, you don't have to be the expert. You can launch somebody else. So Aldo was launching a woman that was talking about empowering feminine empowerment and how to find more power as a woman and in business, etc. So he was just being the launch strategist, launching another product, and boom, investing this in ads and then this. And again, when you have this and all the students you have here, you don't have to invest in ads again to sell another product to these ones, okay? So remember, always remember to keep the conversation open, to keep offering, listening to people you already have in your community and keep offering what you have for them, okay? Yeah, I truly believe, guys, all of us here can generate a lot of goodwill in the anticipation phase. That's the most important part here. Again, an extraordinary product is backing up all this system of marketing, but again, launches work when you have an audience here, and you create goodwill. Really, genuinely wanting to help people, because this is some of the hardest moments the hardest conversations I had with students launching, because they feel like if I'm giving that much value for free, nobody's gonna pay me. And that's exactly the contrary, because there's a mental trigger that is called reciprocity. If I invite you, Shalisa, one day to have dinner, and then I buy you something because it's your birthday, and then I help you with this, and then I bring you there, and then I present you somebody, and I put 2 people in your team, how do you feel? Right? It's like, wow, how can I? Right? You see, this is human. This is human psychology. It's not Shalisa that she's an unicorn. She's special. She is. She's a unicorn. But I want to make the point that everybody feels that, okay? Mental trigger, as we said, authority, reciprocity, social proof, urgency, familiarity. There are a lot of mental triggers. So here, I want you all guys, when you prepare a launch, it's super important that new opportunity, you picture it as visual as possible, and you mix all the emotions, visual, to make it successful for you. Visual and emotional. So you want to create clear pictures, okay? Because I've done analysis right now of more than 50 launches like this. So when I know these numbers and I'm coming like this and I can explain you stories on 1,000 niches, it's because I'm doing the analysis with them in this 10,000 program in Impact, okay? I'm there with them. And I know that when they're having these results here, these ROIs. This is like crazy, like 30x or 35x, something like that. It's amazing. And this one, I don't know, 30 plus as well. Is because they are creating visual and emotional connections from video one. Okay? So video one, I'm not gonna go into the strategy, okay? This we need more in depth, and I'm willing to help you with launches because I think it's powerful, and if you have an idea and you know how to paint this new opportunity and you have an extraordinary product, we can do amazing things together, okay? But I will explain you more that in a second, at the end. The thing is, now, visual and emotional connection. When you create emotional connection, people then, because if you don't create emotional connection, people see the video one, but they are not following video 2, video 3, or video 4. So you lose people here if there's no emotional connection. But if there is, people follow you because you release this on Monday, usually Wednesday, Friday, and next Monday. So if you don't create a bond here, on Wednesday, people is doing another thing. They have busy lives. So it has to be remarkable, the first launch, okay? So how do you create that? An amazing promise, what I call an extraordinary promise. Okay? Like, I'm gonna give you the operating system to generate 250K a year being a business owner, not a self-employed person. Something that you want, right? It's like, wow, it's remarkable. And when you have a strong vision and a strong promise, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seems it works. Gathers a strong vision, gather people together, creates a family, creates a team, creates a community. Okay, so you make sure you are not vague or ambiguous or try to be shy. No, I'm gonna promise make 25K a year being a business owner, which is good. Let's put a 0 on that, 250K. Okay, so extraordinary promise. Okay, 2 zeros. That's for the next class. Yes, extraordinary promise. The second part, when you show the extraordinary promise, guys, what people will think is like, that's not possible, right? Some of you thought this guy, let's see, this guy, you see people like this sometimes with the cross arms. Let's see this guy, what he's gonna teach me, what he's gonna share with me. 250K, is he doing 250K? He knows how to do that? Like, you know, these things come to mind, right? So, after the promise, okay, important here, you want to generate plausibility. Plausibility. That it's plausible, okay? That it's attainable. It's like, look, wait. Before, I know this might seem too good to be true, right? But let me show you that this person did that, this person did that. I participated in launches that made 2.9 million in 5 days. I participated in launches in events. In the live event, I was there, that we generated more than 500,000. I know how to do this. Okay, so you show proof of people in different niches. Now we are live, I don't have presentation or anything, but if I had the computer, I would show you the numbers, I would show you the pictures, I would show you all the stories behind this to back up that this is true. That I'm showing proof that I've been here, I've done that, and I know how to do it. So plausibility. So people is like, okay, this is possible for me or not. This is the next thing. You want to show testimonials. If you have them, okay? So people can see, wow, other people like me did it. They were not super special people, they were people just like me. And look, in this video, and you show them, bam, 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 really quick. Like, what works really well is a 70 to 90 seconds video with more than 8 testimonials, 8 to 10 testimonials. 70 to 90 seconds video of 8 to 10 testimonials. This is a sweet spot, okay? And this comes after a lot of analysis, but we got to that point. And you have to make sure that in the testimonial, people is referring to the promise. So, following the example, if I'm saying, okay, I'm going to show you how to install an operating system on your business so you can generate 250K. People should be like, when I started the program, I did this, I was like this, I was self-employed, making 25K, 50K, and after installing the extraordinary operating system, I achieved 250K in 8 months. Boom. Perfect. Why is this testimonial powerful? Because it refers to the promise. But imagine that somebody is like, yeah, I joined the program, I joined the community, it's amazing, I feel super empowered. Yeah, but what about the 250K? What about being a business owner, not self-employed? What about building a team? What about the ads? What about the funnels and the systems, right? So we want to make sure that the testimonials, when you collect testimonials, you don't just ask for a recording. You ask for, okay, related to the results. Because people don't value effort. That's what self-employed people value, effort. Look at how much effort I'm putting. Results, right? So focus on results. So this is what you want to put in video 1 in the first 5 minutes. Okay, the rest, we have content, we have all the other points that I will not go through right now because it takes like 50 hours of content, for example, in a program, a $2,000 program. But this is the most important thing, to create this bond for the new opportunity so people then follow through. Okay? So now let's go for the numbers, because the cool thing of the launches, if you were happy with the numbers, who was like surprised with the numbers of the webinar before? It's like, wow, with 10,000 people I can generate 50K, I can generate this. Now we'll see the launch. So launches, the cool thing, these are some outliers. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody will start and would put 700 and will take 32K on the other side, but for the launches that I experienced, these are numbers that I can share with you openly. For example, I had that launch that I told you that it's $6,000. I had 7,000 leads, and I generated 25K. Then some of them are good. So here you can see that this is you put 6 and you get this, so it's a 4x. Okay, you can expect a 4x if you are like like good. You can expect a 2x if it's like beginner. Okay, you can expect like 7x is like excellent. Above that is like an outlier. Okay, above that like 10x to 50x. This is extraordinary. Extraordinary. Yeah, definitely. Okay, this is attainable. It is. We have proof, we have data, we have all the stories, the case studies, but you can expect that. So the cool thing is that, again, you spend in ads, you generate this, so you put 6,000, you generate, let's say, the lower one, generate 12K. But the good thing is that then with all the people that didn't buy from you, you launch again, and you can generate without investing in ads. So for example, here you spend 6,000. You have 6,000 leads to make it easy. And then from these 6,000 leads, you sell again. You can launch, or you can generate what it's called the snap. I call it the snap launch. That is just 5 emails. And you sell with 5 emails. It's a sequence, explain the story, you then explain the anticipation, then you explain the offer, then the other one is social proof, and the other one is urgency. So you have 5 emails. Every email is targeted in one mental trigger or 2. And then with these emails, you can monetize all the leads that you generated here. And you help people that were like, oh, I want to take the step, but I'm not taking it. With the 5 email, the snap launch, people convert. Okay? So you help them take the step because they need these months, maybe 1 month, 2 months between you launched and you do the snap launch. And boom. Then people is ready to buy from you because they already saw the testimonials. You shared some results from the people that got into the program, so they feel like, okay, I remember that person that, for example, she was live in an interview with Mikel, being like, or with any of you, like being like, I want to enter, she finally entered, and then she's seeing results. Wow, I see that this is true because I saw that woman in the launch, she was live. Now she entered and she's having results. Now I want to have these results, I want to enter as well. And maybe you don't need all this big launch. You generate this, and again, it's an easy way to generate cash flow with just 5 emails. So these 5 emails, you have them ready. So for the next launch, again, you don't invest anything in ads. And with these email launches, you can generate easily 10K in cash flow. That is good for the next launch or for the next webinar or for the self-paid funnel or for you or for your team, growing your team, whatever it is. Okay? So right now, I want you guys to take this number. Let's crunch the numbers again. Okay? Numbers? Yes? Numbers. Cool. So take this number of leads, okay? I want you to take this number of leads. Number of leads, okay? You can choose like this. You can choose like this. You can choose 10K, okay? Choose a number of leads. and you choose 2, 4, or 7x, okay? Depending on if you are good at sales. So for example, people are really good at sales, and in their first launch, they hit 7, like easily. And especially, this is also the luck of the first launch, is that you give a lot of value. Sometimes you build a lot of goodwill, and you give. People is like ready to buy, building reciprocity, and then you launch and it explodes. And if you are good at sales, you can easily hit the 7x. So you have 10,000 leads. And the good thing about the launch is that launches are really good for products from this 297 to, I would say, 5K if you are a beginner, or you can stretch it out to 10K plus per product, per client, with a launch. I would stay here if you are a beginner or you didn't launch before. But when you are good at this, you can launch products here with launches and have like 50, 60, 70 clients at this price, like we saw on the event. Okay, but this is advanced. So here, choose a product. If you had the other from the webinar, choose a more expensive product or service that you can create. Now you will share with new people. Okay, so mix. Think about another product more expensive because you deliver more value, or because you include live sessions, or because you do something that increases the value ticket. I would say, to stretch your mind, okay, I would go from 997 to 5K. Think of a product you can create, because I know that if you have talent and you have this knowledge, you can sell something, you can create a package of something that can be sold from 997 to 5K. Okay? Think if you're going to sell at 997, 1997, 2997, whatever it is, what you could include, 3 months, 6 months. Think about, draft your product, put a price, okay? Then have this number of leads. Okay? So remember, let's put it with conversion rates. So this is the ad spending. But again, let's go from 0.5. If you're a beginner, you can be like 1 to 2, good. And launches, the cool thing about launches is that you can get crazy returns. Extraordinary launch. Okay, with an extraordinary launch, you can have a 3-5% conversion rate with a higher ticket. Okay, so you have the leads. Okay, a lead number. Yes, Shalisa. Yes, here. Cool. Choose a conversion rate. How confident you feel with sales. If you feel confident, shoot for this one. You feel like I want to test, shoot for this one. You have the conversion rate. Choose one, just to draft, to see some rough numbers, okay? And then you have the price of the product. You got it? Eduardo got it? Yes? Gloria got it? The other product on the webinar was cheaper. It was a starter product. And this one, it's more of your core product of your business. Because remember, we are not, like the extraordinary operating system, it's not something that is just webinars, or it's just email list, or it's just this. It's a suite of products. Your business can scale and can thrive when you have a suite of products. So you want to make sure you have a lower one that you sell with webinars, and a higher ticket one that you sell with launches. Okay? And it changes this, that with the launch, which is more powerful, you can have higher conversion rates.